Hi everyone, Dr. Francis here, and I've been an OBGYN in private practice for 23 years. And in that time, I've delivered personally just shy of 6,000 babies. Most years, that's meant between 250 and 300 deliveries, but sometimes more. For almost my entire career, my little group has been on 1 and 2 call. That means every other night and every other weekend, I'm responsible for every laboring mom in the hospital. We did have a glorious 6-year stretch where we grew to 3 doctors and got 1 and 3 call. And let me tell you, that was amazing. But for the last 4 years, we're back to 2 doctors and 1 and 2 call. And let me tell you, we are exhausted and we are not alone. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on why America is running out of OBGYNs, why hospitals all over the country are desperate, and why wait times are getting longer, and why some of you are driving an hour or more just to deliver your baby. I get 4 or 5 texts or emails a week from recruiters begging for help. I'm going to tell you the real reasons, the ones you don't always hear in the news. And I'm going to be honest, because women and babies deserve the truth. Here's what my phone looks like right now. 4 to 5 times a week, I get a message that says, "Hey, Dr. Francis, we have an opening. Huge sign-on bonus, loan repayment, anything you want. Or, can you come and do locums next month? We'll pay triple." Locums, which is short for locums tenens, means a temporary doctor who fills in to cover when a hospital is short-staffed. I've never done it because I'm too busy, but our hospital uses locums on occasion. Doing locums pays insanely well because hospitals are that desperate. 10 years ago, I got one of these messages a month, but now it's almost daily. Our own hospital has had an open position for an OBGYN for over 2 years. We've interviewed great candidates. They love the group, and then they take another job because they don't want 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 call. It's a nationwide crisis. Here's the first big piece most people miss. Demand for OBGYNs is going up, not down. Even though the U.S. birth rate has dropped a little, the number of women needing us is exploding. And you may be asking yourself why, and that's because the population is growing. Women are having babies later in life, which means more high-risk pregnancies, and chronic conditions like obesity and diabetes and hypertension are way more common. And on top of that, half of all U.S. counties now have no practicing OBGYN. We're creating maternity deserts left and right. More patients, fewer doctors, simple math says the system breaks. You're probably wondering, okay, but how busy are you really? The national average is quoted as about 100 deliveries per year per OBGYN, but in a busy private practice group like mine, 250 to 300 a year is completely normal. And I've had several years where I've delivered well over 300. That's a baby almost every single day, plus surgeries, office visits, and being up on call at night. Another huge reason doctors are walking away is malpractice stress and cost. OBGYN has one of the highest lawsuit rates of any specialty. One bad outcome, even if you did everything right, can mean a lawsuit that drags on for years, and malpractice premiums can top $100,000 to $200,000 depending on what state you're in. A single claim can make a doctor say, "I can't do this anymore." I've watched colleagues in their 50s cash out and retire early because they just couldn't take the constant fear hanging over them, and I definitely understand that. But here's the change that's had the single biggest impact on workforce numbers, and it's the one nobody wants to say out loud. When I started residency in the late 1990s, about 70% of the OBGYN residents were men, and only about 30% were women. Go back to the 1980s and it was closer to 85% male. Those guys typically work full-time or more for 35 to 40 years straight. Today, over 85% of new OBGYN residents are women. I think that's fantastic. Women make phenomenal OBGYNs, and patients love having a female doctor, but this seismic shift has dramatically changed how many full-time delivery doctors we actually have on the ground. Here's the respectful but honest truth. Many female OBGYNs, especially in their 30s and 40s, choose to work part-time or take extended breaks when they have young children. I've lived it. I get it. You can't be on call 1 and 2 and reliably pick up your kids from school or make it to that soccer game. Studies show almost 40% of female physicians scale back to part-time or leave medicine entirely within the first 6 years of finishing residency. In OBGYN, that number is even higher because of our unpredictable hours. So even though we're graduating more OBGYNs, the total number of full-time equivalent delivery doctors has not kept pace. In the old days, one male OBGYN might deliver 300 babies a year for 35 years. Today, it often takes 3 or 4 female OBGYNs, each working 50 to 70% time to cover what used to be done with one full-time position. Same number of diplomas on the wall, way fewer deliveries covered. Let me make it real with some examples. Let's say 5 years ago, a hospital hires an amazing young female OBGYN. First year out, she delivered over 120 babies. She's a superstar. Then she had her first child, which she delayed having because she was in medical school for 4 years and then residency for another 4 years. And when she came back from maternity leave, she decided to only work 60% time. Totally fair. She's a great mom. Then comes baby number 2, and she only wants to work 40% of the time. The hospital loves having her, but they can't fill the call schedule without her full time. Then, due to being overworked, another partner leaves private practice completely for telemedicine GYN, which she can do from home, so she never misses bedtime. I support doctors doing this, but that's one less doctor catching babies at 3 a.m. These stories are playing out in groups all over America. These are just examples because we can't even get a female to work at our hospital. As soon as they find out how much call they would have to take, we don't hear from them again. Of course, it's not only the gender shift. We've also got an aging workforce. Over half of OBGYNs are over 55 and retiring early because of burnout. 2, residency spots have been frozen since 1996. We literally can't train enough new doctors. And 3, Medicaid pays so poorly that hospitals are closing labor and delivery units. And 4, 24/7 call with no end in sight. All of those are crushing us. But the move to a female-dominated specialty has amplified every single one of those problems. So what does that mean for you? Longer wait time for appointments, doctors who are exhausted because we're covering extra call, smaller hospitals closing their maternity units entirely, and women driving hours to deliver. It's already happening, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. I'm not here just to complain. Here's what we can do. Number 1, lift the 1996 cap to fund more residency spots. 2, pay doctors better, especially for Medicaid patients. 3, grow OB hospitalist programs so clinic doctors can actually sleep at night. And 4, lower malpractice pressure through tort reform. And most importantly, make this career sustainable for the 85% of new OB/GYN residents who are women with families. When we do that, everybody wins, patients, babies, and doctors. I've loved this job. Catching almost 6,000 babies has been the privilege of my life, but I'm tired. The people I work with are tired, and we need help. We can fix this, but we have to be honest about all the reasons it's broken, including the massive shift from mostly male, full-time for 40 years doctors to mostly female doctors who want and deserve balance. If you're a medical student, please consider OBGYN. We need you. And if you're a mom or future mom, share this video so people understand what's really going on. And if you're a policymaker, help us train more doctors and make this career work for the next generation. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment. I read every single one. And let me know, have you had trouble finding an OBGYN? How long did you have to wait for an appointment? And hit that like button if this helped you understand what's happening. And don't forget to subscribe for more straight talk from me, your OBGYN. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.